Hello, Iti. I hope that you are fine. And I'm going to check your essay copy today and let's see that how you have fared here. I will talk about the improvements and the enrichment part also. And I will be eliminating some of the part if it is not fitting to the scheme of UPSC preparation of essay. And do watch this, the evaluation video of essay for UPSC Civil Services examination, and you will be knowing a lot about how to build the essay, particularly for civil services examination, and what is the need, what is the requirement, and how to treat the essay, not as the general studies paper. Okay, so let's begin, let's start, and let's see how you have fared, and let's evaluate the essay. So as I can see, this is your essay, and the title you have chosen is, I guess, the essay paper of 2021 paper, that is the previous year paper of UPSC CSE of 2021. And your essay topic is your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. So if we want to decode this essay, first we have to put it into the category. So what is the category? So the category of essay, this category of essay comes under the philosophical essay. Philosophical essay, right? So this is called philosophical essay. And how to react to it, how to decode it, how to make points on it. So like the simplicity, the simple perception or the simple decodation towards these kind of philosophical essay needs to be done. And the proverb which is inside this particular essay needs to be broken. You need to first break the essay, into different parts. You can see that your perception of me is a reflection of you. So it is what? If I see a mirror, if I see a mirror, what I will see? I will see my own reflection, my own reflection. And what it shows? It shows that how I am built up. What is my perception? How I do look like? Okay. The same way, if we are looking at any other person and making a perception, because here mirror is a static portion, static thing, and we are actually standing in front of it. And whatever we are thinking, whatever we are feeling, we'll be seeing in the mirror. Mirror will be not showing me anything. If we talk to the mirror will be talking in the same way. So the same kind of thing is here, your perception of me. So if you perceive something about some other person, okay, then that perception is what? You have built a perception in yourself only. That is not the reflection of that person. That is reflection of yours own only. So if we are happy about somebody else or their performance, if we are happy, they will be also happy about it. So happiness will be what? Reflected. Happy, happy. If we are angry on somebody, what they will do? They will be also angry. Okay, this is the normal conclusion we can take out. But in the philosophical essay, there are like many more, and the UPSC says something else. UPSC essays are more of a reflection of what our syllabus is. So we will be not only writing this about your or you or me or mine. Oh, okay. So it is actually about the different part of society, different part of polity, different part of science, different part of education, health, parameter, different part of you can say international regime, or you can say cultural items or historical items, or many more things we can integrate here. So whatever is the reflection, if India is perceiving something about another country, okay, perception, India is perceiving some country without actually seeing and talking to in a dialogue. Okay, if there is no dialogue, if there is no chemistry, if there is no ties, and then if it is thinking about starting the relationship between that country and India, then what will be happening? The thing will be happening that dialogue, chemistry, and ties, all these things will be actually in vain without putting on any basis. If we are looking towards that country, then what will be happening? We are actually putting our own imposition to that particular country. We are not going into normal relation where dialogue is happening, where chemistry is built up, ties is built up, or people to people connect is there, or something like that. So this is in condition of India's diplomacy. If we talk about, perception, so India's perception towards, weaker countries. So if we do not remember our past, that since the colonial conditions actually existed in India, we became a weaker country. We became the colonial country of what? British, the age of before independence. So if we are seeing other countries are weaker and now thinking that we are very strong, we are actually not perceiving it very well, and we are not reacting to it, or we are not reflecting to it in a proper manner. So what should be the reflection? The reflection should be in our past also, and reflection should be in our present status and the future status of India as a superpower, the global conglomerate. If we want to go there, we have to help the other countries. So that perception and the reflection should be very, very clear. Should be our own reflection, that what we want to become, what we were, and what we are. So in all areas of life, our perception shapes the reflection. Okay. So your perception of me, whatever perception I built upon you, that you are a, particular type of person or something like that, it is the reflection of you. Means you are actually not grounding it to me, but you are actually thinking about your own mind. It is your own behavior that is being reflected. So it is about attitude also. It is about aptitude also. It is about ethics also. All these things are actually having perception. Whatever our attitude will be, we will be seeing the other persons or other things in that light only. If our thinking and understanding is not that much great, we will be thinking that other people are fool only. If our understanding is greater, we will be thinking that everybody has a divine aura. Every individual has some potential. So we'll be talking about that thing. So our aptitude brings the change in our action or the perception also. Then ethics. So if we are ethical person, we will be thinking that ethics is good. We should follow it. If we are unethical person in our personal life or professional life, we'll be thinking that the ethics does not help in that particular way. So perception is what? Perception is of different kind, like, attitude or aptitude, what I told you. Then, like, behavioral, what is our behavior will be shaped by the other person also. If we abuse others, what they will do? They will abuse us. So behavioral parameter, the perception, will be reflecting our premise only. Then cognitive, that is like our cognition or our thinking or our, whatever we are like, that will be actually reflected by our perception only. Our mind will be shown up. So whenever we are doing the discourse, when we are talking to other person, when we are actually improving others, what we are doing? We are showing our cognition, and whatever cognition will be showing, that will be reflected back to us. Okay. So will be either perceived in a very good way if we are very positive, if we are very bright. If we are very bad, then what will be the reflection? The bad reflection will be coming to us. The people will be telling us that we are bad. So if you are good, you will do good to others. If you are bad, you will do bad to others. And similarly, the response will be same. Okay. So that happens. That is the perception and reflection game. So across anything like societal perception, society, patriarchal mindset, you will be seeing that everybody is like exuberating or emanating that perception only patriarchal, and what they are getting in record or in return, the patriarchal perception about their daughters, their mothers also. Okay. The same thing is happening in political. If we are having a dispensation of corruption, so every party will be corrupt then. they will be also doing the corruption. If one party is actually holding that back, that we will be doing a good politics and we will be coming up with the good economics, then what will be happening? That ripple will be there, that perception will be changed a bit, and then others will be also following the suit. Others will be also worried, other will be also fearful that we should not do wrong. So political also, then economic conditions also, you can see the same thing. If we are having bad economics, we will be pulling the bad economy, like black marketing and all those things. So if we are doing that, what we will be doing? If we are doing the black marketing, our perception is black marketing, what we will be getting? Will be not getting formal money, we'll be getting what? We'll be getting black money only. So that is economical sense. Then what we are doing? Cultural. So in cultural factor, if our perception is that daughters are bad, so what will be the reflection of it? The sex ratio will be, the sex ratio will be lessened. We'll be not getting, girls to marry. And finally, what will be happening? The same thing again then will be happening about that girls are being butchered, or the girls are being treated very harshly. So what will be actually happening here? We are actually putting our things, our perception into reflection, and that reflection actually gets down to us only. So cultural factor, legal or local factor also. If we see any perception locally, we'll be seeing that perception is our own reflection. So if we are changing that perception locally, we'll be changing the whole premise. So it starts with me, it starts with one person. Legal also, your perception about particular legalities, a particular thing, then what will be happening? The reflection will be same. So we'll be either following the law. If we are not following the law, then what will be the reflection? The same thing will be reflected back to us. The bad will become bad to us. The law will become bad to us. If we are doing, our perception is good towards that law, we are following that, we are actually encouraging other people to follow it, what will be the outcome? The outcome will be that the reflection will be good to us. Then institutional or international, we are seeing that if two countries are friends, they will be actually fostering good relations, so that is the perception and reflection. So that is about bonhomie between good leaders. Okay. Then institutional, if we are putting good institution, our perception of institution is good, we will be expecting good out of it, and the reflection will be, they will be delivering in a good manner. So positive leads to positive, that is one perception. Okay. Then historical, we are seeing that if some good things are happening, that will be leading to a life cycle approach, that will be actually creating good things. If we are doing bad things, that will be leading to bad things always, like the example of Hitler historically. And Miss Mussolini is very bad. Why? In the Second World War and all those things happened because of the nefarious tendencies of those nations. And what is that? The perception was that the total world is bad. And ultimately, that reflection was there. The totally world was, the world nations was, the global nations was what? Bad towards Germany. Ultimately, it was bad because the perception was so thoroughly bad. So we are actually like catches like, same feathers flock together. That kind of tendencies are also coming from these phrases. And what more can be there? My reaction to you is a awareness of me. So my reaction to you, my reaction to you. So will be reacting. If I will be reacting to this particular person, this is you. If I'm reacting to you, is the awareness of me. So what? Like if this person is very friendly, what I will be doing? My reaction will be friendly. So vice versa, it is what? Your perception of your reflection of you only. Your perception of me means your perception of others is reflection of you, and others, awareness about themselves will be actually our reaction. So what is this? Like this is the kind of vice versa reaction it is happening. So in the wider connotation, what is that? The wider connotation is that Sathe Satyam. It is called Sathe Satyam. Jaisa to Taisa. Okay, that is also a kind of proverb in Hindi. Jaise ko Taisa. though it is English, but I will be telling you in Hindi also so that you can make sense out of it. So like attracts like, garbage in, garbage out. Gigo, good in, good out. That also is one perception. So these are perceptions. Okay. Then what will be there? Like if good politics is there, that will be attracting good policies. That will be attracting, citizen centricity. And then again, like-minded things will be happening. Good things will be happening from there, like growth and development and all those parameters. So your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is a awareness of me. These things are there. Okay. So what we can see here is we have to see from the different arena. So UPSC says to you that do not only decode it and write about it. Rather, you start with the individual. What is the premise of this, particular proverb that is being given here? That if one individual is good, it will be having a good repercussion all around. Okay, his aura will be totally changing the atmosphere also, not only himself and his awareness or others awareness will be actually benefiting him also. So like attracts like, same feathers flock together, that kind of things are happening, but only on individual level will be a very narrow approach for UPSC. So you should go about society, you should go about polity, you should go about culture, you should go about economy, you should go about history, you should go about law, legal, you should go about many more things, science, technology, you should go about what, entrepreneurship, you should go about international relation, international organization, you should go about social justice, right? Many more are there, right? You should go about ethics, you should go about geography, you should go about policy, many more, 50, 60, 70 points can come. And what you need to do, you need to hypothesize, hypothesis building, hypothesis building. Hypothesis building is very easy also, very hard also. If you don't know how to build hypothesis, please do ask me separately, because it will be taking another half an hour to actually prove that. So you need to actually have the hypothesis also. Again, the essay needs to be built upon the flow, the connectivity, good expression. It is also called articulation. Articulation. Then it should be paragraph wise, subjective. Your thinking should be reflecting. Your analysis should be there. And it should not be pointed. Unlike GS paper, general study, you can be pointed. You can write the points. No points are needed here. You have to have a paragraph, passages. You have to write the paragraph or passages or subjectively. Then what you need to do, data, facts, figures, those things you need to write here. And how you get that? From the newspaper, from Yojana magazine, from so many places you get the data, facts and figures. You need to inculcate that. Then quotations, anecdotes, good stories, should be like readable also, should have good handwriting also, it should have legibility also, it should have a good passage writing also, with example, with proof. You have to write each and every point of yours. Then many more things are here. So let's see how you have built your essay. So this is the essay topic she has taken from essay to 2021. Now you just see how she has built up. So one essay is 125 marks, okay, and the maximum one gets is what? Maximum one has got is around 180 marks overall, but that is the historic maximum. So you generally get into the, generally every year, one, today it will be like 130 plus 140 around. Some people get it around 150 to 160 also. They are very rare, but generally people fall into the range of 130, 140. Even you get this much, you will be getting a very, very reliably, you will be under the inside the PDF of the final PDF if your other marks are balanced marks. So how much you are getting in one essay maximum? So out of 125, you are getting 65 or 70 marks, 65 to 70 marks. That is the maximum mark in average or above average category. Above average, this is like brilliant category. This is like excellent category. So 65 to 70 is maximum you are getting. So if you are getting maximum, then what should be you would be getting? Whatever points I have told you, that dynamic aspect, dynamism should be there. Clarity of thought should be there. Expression should be there. And well conceived design and flow of essay. Design and flow of essay should be there. Okay, so these are the things we should do. Let's see how you have built up. And so the most important factor is the interest factor. If you are able to make the interest in your essay from starting to end, then you will win. Okay, so let's see. A human being is born with certain innate quality that are passed on to him through genetics and by virtue of his fate, which lies in a family or situation. Thereafter, he learns to manifest in himself all that he as receives as worldly morals, knowledge, stimuli, and perceptions. Okay, so she is talking about that how we get the perceptions, stimuli, and knowledge. So this is well exposed. Exposition is really good, and you have like just elaborated what is the concern of essay in the first para. So this is good. Like, let's see how much interesting she gets later on. Thus, family, friends, society, and the outer world shape his demeanor. He grows into the morphed creature of development, developed intellect capable of forming perception and generating. You should write full form. Never write like this, and this is wrong in essay. In essay, no shortcuts you should be doing. No shortcuts, no points, nothing to hide. And grammar, you should always check the spellings, and it should be always right. Grammar should always be right. No points should be there, only subjective. You should write. No shortcut. All these things you need to. And then clarity of words also, writing also. Okay. So capable of forming perception, generating reactions to these stimuli. He receives continuously. Do not overwrite. Okay. So this is good. Let's see. So what is perception? How it is formed? How is it formed? How do they affect one and the others? Do these shape? Do not cut. Please do not cut or overwrite. It will cut your marks. Everywhere you cut -2 mark, 3 marks in essays will be happening. Do these shape the course of action into tangible and intangible? Again, you have written. This is habit. To form a habit that where you write and or the full forms only. Never write half-heartedly in essay. Are questions. Again, you have written after question mark, you have written are. So this is fundamentally wrong sentence-wise. You need to correct it. Otherwise, your marks will be cut down. We must ponder. Since society and civilization that help need humanity in continuity, help keep humanity in continuity are based on the bonds, relations, metrics of our the maturity is defined when the humans can perceive and act maturely where okay. So what she is doing is she is exposing only exposition of that particular topic. So she is talking about this, what is perception, how it is formed, and these things that she is doing. But this is a very raw kind of approach or treatment of essay she is taking. Raw kind of treatment. So this is simple, but not yet not effective. Why it is not effective? It is not exposing the whole talk of the essay. So it is only going into the direction of one aspect, which is individual. And you should be actually going from start only dynamic aspect. Like if individual is there, their perception and their expression and their things. But after that, what about dynamics? What about the other things? You should look at that. Okay. Then perception of someone could reflect how we are and the reaction of the other. stems from mature comprehension of oneself and own attributes. Let's see what she does later on. So she is making a hypothesis. Let's see if she's able to actually execute that or not. So here, an individual who forms a perception is free to do on his own merit, and the individual so perceived would react to the stimuli of perception in his own way and up to his moral cultural standards so established by him. Okay. So she is just saying that your own merit, your own morality, your own cultural standard are the things which we actually behave upon. Okay, the stimuli or the perception is built upon that. Who can perceive? The society, friends, foes, and overall oneself can form them. What I think, what someone else thinks, what society thinks, what my own validation, self thinks are few common modes of perception. How are these formed and based on to board defined concepts one starting from individual? Okay. See, though there are teachers who will be telling you or guides who will be telling you that you write this kind of, this kind of diagram, but mostly 99.99% persons will be suggesting you not to have any kind of flow breaking structures in between essay, because essay is never meant to expose your thinking into this kind of imaginary, though your imaginary should be so vivid imaginary plus words that you actually do not falter while writing, and it will be perceived brilliantly. So write so much vividly or so much perfectly and so much dynamically that you should be perceived very well, and your thought will be like gained from it, not these kind of situations. So you should not write it like GS answers. That is the first condition of essay. Should not make the diagrams in UPSC essays particularly. Uh, as shown in figure 1, don't do it. Perception, creation, formation. Since perceived, you have to write in paragraphs only. You have to make the hypothesis. Then you have to substantiate it, and then you have to write the examples. Okay, and then move to the flow. Second para. Same thing. Hypothesis, substantiate, example. Hypothesis, substantiate, example. Flow and jointer. Jointer also, you need to do the jointer also, so that you go into the flow. Okay, so that joiner will be like, since like you have written since, so this is jointer. So you should be like free flow, straight. Since motion are a result of slow and steady formation of a small step of human attitude and behavior, they can be influenced by so many action. Attitude, don't do like this also. You don't have to do ABC or something. You can do like this. You can make a title here, because this is not a GS paper. Should be making the holistic title so that it will be suiting to the perception of the title. You have to decode the title everywhere. Decode it. So attitude builds perception. Like this you have to write. Attitude builds perception. And then you can write like that. So that is like a wider format. You should write ABC. You don't have to write a person attitude. That is preconceived notion regarding an object or individual. Childhood drastically affect one's perception. For example, positive attitude towards animal or pets could result in formation of negative perception about an individual who beats dog or animals. So this is a good example, but perception should essay paragraph should be so much dynamic that you do not write only about a person's attitude only, or you do define it only, but make a hypothesis. What is the hypothesis here? You should write that your hypothesis is that person's attitude will be defining his perception, and then you write about that, how that definition will be coming, and then you design an example which will be suiting to that, or give some data or facts or figures. Okay, then only like you will be hammering on the point, and that will be very effective. Like you will be telling that even after 50% of reservation of women in local self-governments or PRIs, there is a concept of Mukhyapati or the village headman heading by male only, male folk only. That is the perception towards what? The attitude of persons or the male folk towards the women, that they cannot lead, they should not lead, they should have will. But for the gain sake, they actually point, they put the gun on their shoulders and then shoot. That kind of things is happening. Okay, so you have to write that kind of perception, so that you are showing some administrative capabilities here. We are not writing essays for the sake of title only. Should be like decoded in a way which is far from what? Decoded in a way which is far from individualistic, but a very dynamic aspect of all parts of administration, right? Very different parts of administration you need to write. Experience. You don't have to write that like that. Experience. You have to write what is your hypothesis, or what is your sub point here. Then only you write. Or rather, you don't write like this much of, after one paragraph, you do not break the flow. Rather, you write one thing and write 3 4 para, then only change the this subtitle also. So experience you have written about individual uh, believe up as a victim, domestic violence, would end up getting. And see, these kind of words are not being able to, I'm not able to read it, though I can read any kind of legible words. So please make it legible, okay, so that I can read it in a flow, so that they can feel better about it. Victim of domestic violence would end up getting scared of the abuser and anyone remembering him. Don't cut it. This comes to show the external factors. You are going too philosophical about particular things, like you are hell-bent upon, the only perception element as either as, psychological stuff, or either about ethical stuff. You are fixated on these two subjects, but you need to go beyond that. You need to actually show in the society also. You are telling about domestic violence. Yeah, it is right. But how you have to do that? You have to socially show it, politically show it, economically show it, you culturally show it. You are going on the description of these. That is called definitional exposition. You should not do like this only. Otherwise, your essay will be very, very stuffy on only one part. Okay, that is not good actually. So let's see. These I am not liking that much. This is look like a psychological optional writing, or either the writing of ethics also, preconceived notion. These all are written in ethics or psychology, right? This is written in NCERT psychology books. Don't write it. You have to write the essay. You have to substantiate the topic. That is about perception and reflection, and then behavior of people and all those things. And you have to see it in all the portion of society. Don't have to write like a point you are writing in GS. This is totally wrong, approach to write. And don't get demoralized because my point. You have to improve it. Otherwise, your marks will be less in your mains. So rather, you bleed in this torment. And I am invoking you to do great here. Don't write ABC. Don't write this kind of pointers. Rather, write subheadings. And subheadings, you should not write after every para. You should be having one big para, one big topic, then you substantiate it. Perception leads to reflection. Self-perception leads to others' reflection. So that kind of thing, and then you write in each and every parameter, like society, how the self-perception leads to like others' reaction and all those things. So each and every portion you need to write like that. Backbiting and false speaking, presupposed. These are all things you are actually talking about, perception only. But perception in different arenas you need to write. Okay. You are talking about society again, then again and again you are coming to society only. This sometimes leads to the weak, meek, and have to write wrong words. And the distraught spelling is wrong. So perceived as negative, it would be leading to the welfare, being ignored of the trial, backward caste, suffering untouchability. Okay, so you need to actually improve your spellings, grammar, your sentence formation. You should read more before writing. You should read also the newspaper, daily newspaper, okay? And don't do in the point format. It looks like GS portion, GS paper, and they will not award you marks for GS kind of writing. You need to write it as a essay. Go and read some essays, like 4 5 essays of previous toppers, or you can read some good lead articles from the Hindu or Indian Express, and you can see that how they expose their thoughts, how they make the subheadings, like big articles they have in the the Hindu editorial portion. Two editorials will be there, and big article will be there, 3 4 thousand words, that you need to read. A form of media, friend circle, culture, these are good. Here comes your diversity: media, friend circle, culture. You need to actually write about these, separately, and in a very point free manner, in a very paragraph manner, and very hypothetical manner, that how the media perception leads to the people's reflection on the media itself. If it is doing wrong, the wrong perception will be built, the wrong reflection will be coming, and the media image will be not of the fourth estate, but as a bicholia, as a the not the defender of the public faith and of the corporate corporate justice only, not social justice, the corporatization only. So, and not following the media ethics and all those things. So you have to write like that. It could involve prejudice, bias, over sympathetic. These are good words, but it is again and again going into that direction only, that we are hammering more and more on perception only, but not the whole word, the whole essays a topic. Okay. Wow, example. So example you have to write inside the topic only. Do not separate it. Otherwise, it will look very odd, because this is not GS paper. Co-vigilant racism resulted in a Muslim driver being perceived as criminal and subjected to crowd violence and injustice. Later, it was found that his truck was empty. So you need to actually go into the hypothetical element rather than this separate example and separate point. Hence perception can be positive, negative, and neutral. See, these things are actually, you should be writing in start and then leaving that, and hence you don't have to prove like this here in essay. You cannot separate these things. So positive, negative, and neutral, it is okay, but is in the definition item only. You are writing like ethics portion, they are writing about perception or attitude or aptitude. You're writing like that. So you should be knowing that how to build the hypothesis. Then again you proof it, you have proof for it, examples, and then finally you give some data, facts or figures, and then move to another para. You have to do like this, otherwise you will be not having that kind of expressive capacity, or you cannot have good feeling. The examiner cannot have good feeling about it. Perceptions of form might reinforce one's attitude to new maturity level. So see this thing, avoid this thing. You have to express it in the words only. You cannot actually use this kind of, oh, this much of, no, not at all. Not at all you have to write this. Not allowed in essay. You cannot get any essay which is having this. No, no, no. All perception, positive or negative, tend to reinforce a counter response from individuals, similar lines. No, no, you are again and again explaining same thing. Thus, reaction so formed could be informed, uninformed, rational or irrational. Yeah, this is taken, but what about how you talk about all these things separately and then build the hypothesis and then say about society, politics, economy, culture, all those factors related to informed perception, uninformed perception, rational perception or irrational perception, or full of sanity, objectivity or subjectivity. All these things you have to prove there. You cannot only write in essay, but you have to prove it. The again you have cut it down. Don't cut it, otherwise 2 3 marks are being lost at one place of cutting. Individual so perceived moral standard could react based on his ideals, norms, maturity, emotional intelligence. You can use these words, but you have to actually use it and in the context. You have to exemplify it. You have to substantiate it with the hypothesis that how emotional intelligence is related to the perception of others, and then reflection of others about us. Okay, then you have cut it, you have overwrite it. So that is very bad habit. Your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reactions to you is awareness of me. So you don't have to write like this. You have to actually inculcate this in each and every paragraph's end and starting with the crux of it. Okay, so that you can do, but you have to first substantiate, exemplify, then only you can write again and again this kind of thing. And you have to demystify it and write. Demystify, don't write the full thing again and again. Okay, and then, but this may also not help true sometimes. For example, yeah, you have written the flip side, that is very good, congratulations on that part, that you are actually claiming that this sentence is, or the structure, the topic is itself flawed in some sense. Obviously you have to write like that. Formed by an individual could not be his at all, when neither scares her child of ghost, or fear of not going out alone, or scares him of outcome which he has. Okay, okay. So you are thinking that this is like perception. Experience, he would form a perception as his own. Leaders of our national freedom struggle. Now you are coming to historical factor. This is a good thing. Help form perception of the deception of the British against us. That is all the sections of society forged it. You have to actually clarify your stances. Actually clarify what you want to say. If you are not clear in your words or lines, nobody will be understanding what you are writing. Okay, you have to write in a very, very simple words and substantiate it also. Though the point is good, that historical perception against the Britishers, obviously, that is like nationalistic tendencies, right? A dilemma warrants an individual to trust others and react with closed eyed without rationality, as happens in Korea. Old and aggressive customers still follow. Yeah, this is like about customs, obviously. Then you have to actually write what is like, female genital mutilation in Dawoodi Bohra community. Dawoodi Bohra community. You can give this type of example. Okay. Then only you can substantiate your answer, because that is a recent example. Even the Prime Minister talked about it. The old an important theory of the Jain philosophy goes like this. 5 people who are blind are touched the elephant from various sides. Basically, this is good. Why did you not start with this line? Jain philosophy, blind and various side, each have different perception. So this can be started with start with a very enticing and very catching kind of anecdote or a story or quote, and then expose it and relate it with the topic you have like given. Then only you will get the good marks. So here you end test of validity, ethics, morality. See, your dimension is not coming. Your dimension should be starting with, you should be exposing within 1-2 para, you should be exposing what the topic is all about, and then write in a fashion that it looks like an administrative essay. Any philosophical essay in UPSC is administrative only, after all, because you have to write n numbers of like very dynamic content regarding the society, how the society thinks, before that individual, society, community, how the community perception is the reflection of. So your is not only about individual, but society can also be your, and a person can also be you. So individual, society, community, culture, political, economic, legal, local, international, you know, liberalized world, privatized world, globalized world, everywhere, science, technology, innovation, women, child, old age, okay, son, father, son, daughter, like daughter, father, different kind of chemistries can be built and can be written, and that is called dynamism, dynamic aspect. Your examples are weak, your exposition is okay, but you need to work on your interest per perception. Interest is what I can tell you, like around 10% interest you are making, but you have to make 100% interest, so that the examiner reads also, get good impact also. Then your content should be a very dynamic also, deep also, and You have to write the plurality of thought, not singularity of thought. And then you need to actually make some good data, facts, fodders, data, facts, fodders, and then substantiate it. If you are writing about the perception about women or tribal or any community which is minority, and you have to substantiate it with the thoughts, then data, facts, figures also, that what is wrong with the perception of the society. So those things you need to build up, then write the essay. So overall, this essay is not very effective, but you have the caliber to write that. What I can say is that the structure is the biggest problem of yours. Then brainstorming, you are not doing too much. Your brainstorming is only in one direction, which is related to decoding the syllabus, decoding uh, the topic of the essay only. You need to actually decode it in a way that you dynamically decode it and administratively decode it, and all the areas of administration you should actually decode. Okay, you should actually grab those positions where you can actually place yourself and then regard the perception. So exposition only in 1-2 para, expose it, then make an interesting story or something like that. Then build your premises, overall premises, what you are going to talk about in the essay, like you did, but do not be narrow about only perception. But talk about that how perception of individual, how perception of society, how perception in polity, how perception in science and technology, how perception in legal languages, how perception in economics, how perception in international or international organizations level are actually framing the reflections of the other side, and how the reactions are being shown by me, or you, is the awareness of me. So you have to actually substantiate through that vice versa approach in a different way altogether. Then data, facts, figures, all you need to write. So your essay, I will be marking it, but with a very little heart, that I do not want to mark it, but I will mark it. Like maximum the people are getting is 65 to 70 out of what 125 marks in essay. You will be getting not more than, I'm very sorry to say, but you will be not getting more than 40 marks here, and that too is my maximum marks. I'm liberally giving it 40. Otherwise, it will be around 35 only, because there are not many sparkling points in your essay. There are not many very eye-catchy points in your essay. There are not many examples which are like very superior example. You need to actually start reading a lot in the input side. Then you frame essay where you brainstorm for 15-20 minutes. But I guess this is your first essay, so you must improve, and you will be improving. And any kind of suggestion, any kind of inputs you want to take from me, I will be definitely helping you on that regard. So please do keep writing. Your writing exposes your weaknesses to you, and you will be definitely improving. The time is less, but still time is there. If you want to write 10, 20, 15 or 20 essays, before that you need to actually read much. You need to read very dynamically. You also have to see the topics taken by toppers and how they write about it, and be very dynamic in UPSC. UPSC does not check that how much depth you are writing about perception or reflection or reaction or awareness, rather how well you are decoding it, and you are fitting it in every aspect of our political or economic or social or cultural or legal or local or international or any kind of dimension. So expose those dimensions, right, and then connect with a flow. And your flow should be like coming from international example, national example, national case study, a local case study, brilliant aspects of institutions, or so many anecdotes or so many stories you have read in the newspaper. You have to connect here. You cannot be a very narrow in your approach while teaching this type of essay. Do not only decode in only 1-2 para, and then go about the essay in entirety, which the essay topic is there. Keep close to the topic of the essay, and have the brevity of your words. Like words should be written very less and meant more. And then your paragraph flow should be there with interconnecting words and interconnecting phrases, and then example, fact, figures should be there. So I hope it helps, and keep writing. I'm happy that you have written and you will improve. And this is a great effort from your side. I encourage you to write more and more, and do not think about the follies. Everybody has a folly. But if you want to eradicate those follies through writing, reading more, and then exposing on the paper, and then again improving, within 3, 4, 5 essays, your essays will be really great. So congratulations that you have written. You will definitely improve. All the best. Thank you very much.